had a conversation with Kirk and Rasheeda.
Oh boy, okay.
She brought up, the defects case with Cannon because he's been tardy a lot. And I'm just like, you haven't been concerned about anything in years. This is my first time hearing from you,
So
actually.
she wants to bring up all the negativity as opposed to taking control and being a real stepmother.
Kirk Frost and Jasmine Washington have a complicated history, and if you've watched Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, you've probably seen the drama unfold over the years. Kirk was married to Rasheeda when he had an affair with Jasmine, and that relationship led to the birth of their son, Cannon. But things didn't end there. The situation only got more chaotic. At first, Kirk refused to admit that Cannon was his child. He avoided taking responsibility, which led to a long and messy paternity battle. When a DNA test finally confirmed the truth, he had no choice but to acknowledge his son. However, even after that, the tension between Kirk and Jasmine never really went away. Jasmine often felt like Kirk wasn't doing enough as a father, while Kirk claimed Jasmine was reckless and unfit to care for their child. Their attempts at co-parenting turned into constant arguments, with fights spilling over onto social media. Just when Jasmine thought things had settled, Kirk shocked her by filing for full custody. She never saw it coming, and the move changed everything. Feeling blindsided and hurt, Jasmine was left wondering what would happen next.
Well, some of y'all might not know this stupid shit, but somebody really in the comments, the shade room is definitely always gonna have the, you're gonna get it, you're gonna put that work in over there. But is Jasmine pregnant by me? I wouldn't know, okay? That's number one.
Kirk Frost's decision to seek full custody of his son, Cannon, wasn't something that happened overnight. It was a planned legal move, backed by specific arguments and evidence. According to sources close to the situation, Kirk presented his case in court by claiming that Jasmine Washington, Cannon's mother, was not capable of providing a stable home environment. He pointed to her past actions, emotional outbursts on social media, and what he described as an unpredictable lifestyle, as proof that their son would be better off with him. Kirk also made it clear that he was financially secure and able to take care of Cannon without any difficulty. As a longtime reality TV personality and business owner, he argued that he had the means to give Cannon a comfortable life. He even provided records showing that he had consistently paid child support and had been actively involved in making important decisions about Cannon's well-being. His legal team emphasized that he wasn't trying to erase Jasmine from their son's life. He simply believed full custody was necessary to provide structure and stability. Jasmine, however, did not agree with Kirk's claims. She fought back, arguing that he was using his financial status and influence to take her child away from her. Just because Kirk had more money, she argued, didn't mean he was the better parent. According to her, Kirk had been absent for large portions of Cannon's life and was only stepping in now to exert control. She insisted that she had always been there for their son, and that Kirk was twisting the narrative to gain the court's favor. In custody battles like this, family courts consider several factors before making a decision. Financial stability matters, but it isn't the only thing that influences the outcome. Judges look at the overall well-being of the child, the history between the parents, and their ability to co-parent. Jasmine may have already been at a disadvantage because of her previous conflicts with Kirk. In the past, she had vented her frustrations on social media, making heated posts about their struggles. While this might not seem like a big deal to some, courts often see public outbursts as a sign of instability, especially when children are involved. There were also reports of past arguments and physical confrontations between her and Kirk, which could have raised concerns for the judge. That being said, Kirk's past wasn't spotless either. He had initially denied that Cannon was even his child, and his affair with Jasmine while married to Rasheeda didn't exactly make him look like a responsible father. However, in court, what mattered most was his ability to provide a structured environment for Cannon, and he had the legal arguments to support his case. When Jasmine found out about the custody filing, she was completely blindsided. According to sources, She first tried to reach out to Kirk directly, hoping to talk things out, but he ignored her attempts. Feeling frustrated and powerless, she turned to social media. Over the next few days, she posted multiple rants, calling Kirk out for what she saw as a manipulative and unfair move. In her posts, she accused him of using his financial advantage to push her out of their son's life. She made it clear that she felt betrayed, angry, and deeply hurt. But the situation didn't stop at social media posts. As tensions escalated, Jasmine reportedly decided to confront Kirk in person. According to witnesses, she showed up at his house demanding to see Cannon. Some say she was shouting outside, trying to get Kirk to come out and talk to her. As the minutes passed and Kirk refused to respond, things allegedly took a turn for the worse. Witnesses claim she began banging on the door and yelling in frustration. In her anger, she reportedly damaged Kirk's car, possibly scratching the paint or hitting it in the heat of the moment. Some reports even suggest that she broke a window while trying to get Kirk's attention. It didn't take long for footage of the incident to surface. The video reportedly shows Jasmine pacing outside Kirk's home, knocking aggressively before shouting inside. At one point, she appears to grab the door handle and attempt to open it herself. Neighbors who witnessed the incident later confirmed that they heard loud arguing before the police arrived. Some claim they heard Jasmine yelling about Kirk keeping their son from her. It was a highly emotional and intense scene, and her frustration only seemed to grow as time went on. Interestingly, Kirk never came outside or directly interacted with Jasmine. Instead, he reportedly stayed inside, possibly calling the authorities to handle the situation. Some sources suggest that his decision not to engage was strategic. He may have known that any confrontation, especially if caught on camera, could work against him in court. When police officers arrived at the scene, they initially tried to de-escalate the situation. They approached Jasmine calmly and asked her to step away from the property so they could talk to her. However, by that point, emotions were already running high. Jasmine was reportedly still upset and continued to argue her case, insisting that she had every right to see her son. Despite the officers' attempts to calm her down, things didn't go in her favor. After reviewing the security footage and assessing the damage to Kirk's property, Jasmine was arrested for trespassing and property damage. One of the biggest concerns in the custody case now is whether Cannon was inside the house during the altercation. If he was present and witnessed the incident, it could have serious consequences for Jasmine's case. Family courts prioritize the safety and emotional well-being of the child, and if a judge believes that Cannon was exposed to a chaotic or potentially harmful situation, it could be used as evidence that Jasmine is unstable. Some reports claim that Cannon was home at the time, but this hasn't been fully confirmed. However, if he saw his mother being arrested or heard the argument, it could further complicate her fight for custody. Now that Jasmine is facing potential legal charges, the situation has become even more serious for her. Depending on the exact charges, she could be looking at criminal trespassing, vandalism, and disturbing the peace. If convicted, even on lesser charges, it could weaken her argument in court. Judges want to see that a parent can provide a stable and safe environment for their child, and an arrest record could damage Jasmine's credibility. With her arrest now on record, Kirk's legal team might take things a step further by requesting a restraining order against her. If granted, it could prevent Jasmine from coming near Kirk, and possibly even limit her access to Cannon. This would make it even harder for her to maintain a presence in her son's life, further strengthening Kirk's case for full custody. The situation between Kirk and Jasmine has been tense for years, but this latest incident has taken things to a whole new level. What started as a custody dispute has now turned into a legal battle with serious consequences. Whether Jasmine will be able to recover from this setback remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the fight for Cannon is far from over.
So the truth is that you have been trying to smash. I have the proof.
She said she got the proof. This is my first time actually reading the text, and I just feel like this is beneath it.
Jasmine's legal troubles are not just about her criminal charges. they could also affect her fight for custody of Cannon. Family courts take a parent's behavior very seriously. If Jasmine has a history of emotional outbursts, past disputes, with Kirk, or legal problems, all of that could be used against her. Even if this is the first time she has been arrested, the fact that it happened during a heated confrontation over their child could influence the court's decision. With her recent arrest, Kirk now has a stronger case to argue that Jasmine might not be the best person to provide a stable environment for Cannon. He could claim that her actions show she is a risk to their son's emotional and physical well-being. If the court agrees, Jasmine might not lose custody entirely, but she could face restrictions. One possible outcome is supervised visitation, meaning she would only be allowed to see Cannon in a controlled setting with a social worker or another third party present. It's too early to say for sure how this will end, but one thing is clear. This custody battle has taken a serious turn, and Jasmine's chances don't look promising.
Him. Why would you not want to have an open line of communication with me if your husband's trying to me? I feel like that's even more reason for me to have communication with you. That way I don't have to deal with him. Kirk can be obsolete.
As news of Jasmine's arrest spread, social media quickly exploded with mixed reactions. Some people sympathized with her, saying she was just a mother fighting for her child. One person commented, "I feel for Jasmine, but she let her emotions take over." Now, Kirk has everything he needs to push her out of Cannon's life. Another added, "Kirk did her wrong from the start, but this wasn't the way to handle it. Now she looks unstable in court." Others believed she should have handled the situation legally instead of letting her frustration take control. Many pointed out that her actions might have only strengthened Kirk's custody case. In the middle of all the online debates, Kirk shared a cryptic quote. "A father's job is to protect his son at all costs. Nothing else matters." Though he didn't mention Jasmine's name, it was obvious who he was referring to. After being released from custody, Jasmine wasted no time addressing the situation. She turned to social media to share her side of the story, claiming Kirk was actively trying to cut her out of Cannon's life. In a now-deleted Instagram Live, she expressed her frustration, saying she had been blocked from contacting or even seeing her son. She insisted that Kirk was making her look unstable in court, and that the legal system was unfair to mothers without financial power. While some fans supported her honesty, others felt she wasn't doing herself any favors by reacting emotionally instead of showing regret. Hollywood has seen many custody battles between public figures, and many believe Jasmine's case will follow a familiar pattern. With Kirk's financial stability and image as a responsible father, he might have the upper hand in court. Meanwhile, Jasmine's recent actions could make things harder for her, even if she genuinely wants to be part of her son's life. What do you think? Does Jasmine still deserve a chance to be in Cannon's life? Or has she hurt her case too much with this latest outburst?